Hi, this is Chrystal Rae. Thank you for joining me again today. This is our love talks, our morning chat. And I want to talk to you a little bit about purity today. Not Puritan, but purity. In Sanskrit, we call it Saucha. And the way that I've been practicing it this week and that I want to share with you because it's really powerful is purity of intention, purity of thought, and purity of action. But we'll start at the beginning. Out of the silence you are born, back to the silence you return. What happens in between is the noise of your life, the cacophony of your life. So out of the silence we're born, back we return. What happens in between, all of the stuff that's going on, is the noise of our life. But here's the important thing about that in relationship to purity. That which permeates all things is silence, and that silence is the essence of love, the omnipresent force of the universe. So this silence, this conscious observer, this passionate observer of your own existence, that which permeates all your cells, is the silence. And the noise of our life is born of that. But even in the midst of the noise, the silence is still there. And at any time that you want, you can plug into that. But what most people do, the mass of men living quiet lives of desperation and resignation, is that they plug into the cacophony. They plug into the noise. They plug into the stress. They live a very troubled life, turbulent life. And the sad thing about that is that regardless of what happens, and stuff does happen in life, you always have a choice. You can plug into the cacophony, plug into all the reasons to be stressful, plug into the busyness, or you can plug into the calm, the silence, the omnipresent force of love of which you were born, and that's always present. So here's the thing. Even if you intellectualize this, even if it makes sense to you, yes, I recognize that out of the silence everything's born, or out of nothingness, isness is born. However you want to think about it, right? How to do it? That's the question, how to do it. Well, it's a lot easier than you think. All we have to do to really connect with the truth of existence, the love, the isness, the silence of which we were born, right in the middle of the stressful moments of our day, of our lives, all we have to do is breathe. If we just simply take 3 deep diaphragmatic breaths, we connect with the central nervous system. And when we connect with the central nervous system, it tells our nerves to calm down. And when we calm down, when we quiet down, then we're reconnecting with the silence. And when we reconnect with the silence, with the truth, then the cacophony of life can continue on, and yet we will stay in that center point. Have you ever seen, like, this is a cool analogy, I think, like a movie where right in the middle of like some dramatic scene, like a war or a fast car or, whatever, some kind of active scene, all of a sudden the director will like freeze it, slow it down, and then there'll be no sound. It'll be like slow motion. That's it. That's what's available. I love my kitty. Kitties do this by nature. Have you ever seen cats, how they plug into the silence? I had a cat named Ferrari. Do you remember Ferrari? And Ferrari, you could take a ball and you could throw it as fast as you want at Ferrari, and he'd be like this. And the ball would go. That's because he was innately plugged into the silence, the calm. He didn't get sucked into the cacophony of life. There's a certain type of focus that he had. So that's my invitation for Saucha. Out of the silence you were born, back to the silence you return. What happens in between is the noise of your life. You have the choice to either plug into the cacophony or plug into your breath and inherently plug into the silence of which you were born. Remember who you really are. Remember that there is great love here for you, that these words have found you today have been searching for you for eons, not just this lifetime. They have been searching for you because you're ready to hear them. You can change the rest of your life through something as simple as plugging into the silence by plugging into your breath and choosing to be a conscious observer of your own existence rather than being dragged around like a donkey with a ring in your nose by the whims of your emotions, of the circumstances, of the seasons of your life. Instead, you become the author, the director, the main actor of your own life, and you get to choose. And then there's great peace, great love. And it starts with this breath, with plugging back into the silence, having a strong intention. Thoughts become things, deciding which thoughts you're going to follow and which ones you're going to let just float away, and then taking action. But for right now, all I would love for you to practice today, as we get started on this, is the practice of whenever you find that you're not in a calm place, when you're outside of the silence, you simply plug back into your breath. You simply remember that you're loved. And you simply remember that these words have found you because you're ready to hear them. But what you do with them is always up to you. I love you very much. It's always an honor and a pleasure for me to connect with you. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you soon. Love you. Namaste.